What's up, guys? So I got my recoil starter back on, and just to check it out I gave it a few pulls. The mower wouldn't start. So then what I did to try and rule out spark being an issue is I gave a little bit of a shot of brake clean. This is the carburetor. I gave a shot of brake clean inside the carburetor and then pulled it, and it started. So what that means is we know we have spark, but we're having a fuel issue. Kind of what you do whenever you're diagnosing one of these small engines, or any engine, is break it down into the four components that make an engine run. And that would be, well, the way they taught us in school is suck, squeeze, bang, blow. So you have intake, compression, combustion, and exhaust. Intake would be your fuel and air. So you could be looking at a clogged air filter or a clogged fuel, which in this case it's the carburetor. Then you have compression, and in that case on a mower you'd be looking at maybe rings, piston rings, or a scored piston wall, maybe a bad head gasket. Then you're looking at combustion, and that would be your ignition system. So you would check your spark, your coil, your spark plug, stuff like that. And then the last thing, which is hardly ever an issue, would be exhaust, is the blow. So that might be maybe a clogged muffler or a bad exhaust valve, something like that. So anyways, in this case we're looking at the carburetor. It's definitely gummed up. I've already cleaned it up a little bit just on the outside. To remove this from the engine, there's just the two screws. You just kind of look around for any screws holding a certain component to the engine. Here you have the two screws that held the air filter on, and then there was a hose clamp that held the fuel line on. And what I do is when I pull that off, I put a needle nose vice grips on it so it doesn't leak everywhere. And then we had two more bolts on the back side holding the carburetor to the engine. So got that off. What I'm going to do is pull this 1/2-inch nut off. I'll try and do that without a cameraman here. Oop, almost dropped you. Let's see if I can set you up for a second. Be right back. Just going to bust this nut loose. Got that. And now all I'm doing is unthreading it by hand to remove it. And that's just the carburetor bowl mounting bolt. So we'll remove that, and I'll bring you back here. So all I did is pulled that bolt out, remove the bowl. It actually looks pretty clean in there, so that's a good thing. Next, what you'll do when disassembling the carburetor is pull this float pin out. This is your float. It's either plastic or brass. This one's plastic. Pull that off, and you'll notice a part that stayed in here is the needle. Don't lose that. I like to keep everything in the bowl here just to keep it all together. And then go ahead and remove your bowl gasket, which is this kind of O-ring looking gasket. And try and be gentle with any of the gaskets so you don't break them and need to replace them. I'm going to need two hands to do that. Anyways, remove that. And then what I use is this Berryman Chem Dip. It's just basically a mini solvent tank. And I'll drop this in there for half an hour and then pull it out, spray it off with water, and it should be pretty well clean. You can also run wires through any little holes you see to clean them out. You could spray carb clean on it to clean it. You could gently spray some compressed air. I sometimes will do that, take my air nozzle and spray some air through there. Clean it all out, put it back together, and mount that back to the engine, and then try to start it again. And if it does start, you've solved the problem. If not, run back through those four areas I just talked about, just to kind of narrow down what your issues are. If you've cleaned the carburetor 1 or 2 times and it still won't start, but you know it's a carburetor issue, you might be looking at a new carb kit or a whole new carburetor. In some cases you can get the whole carburetor for about the price of a carb kit, so whichever option you want to go with there. So hopefully that helps, and thanks for watching. See you on the next video.